What's up? What's up? What's up? It's Straight Sixers News. Be sure to hit that like button. Make sure you sub to the channel if you're not a member. Also hit them notifications so that you're able to get all of my content as well as all of my videos. And be sure that you're sharing this content too as well. We go ahead and we move on to face New York Saturday night as the Sixers. We remain alive, defeating the Miami Heat in a nail-biter, edge of the seat, heart-pumping type of game, paranoia, everything that you could think of to get you sweating and getting your blood pressure up. We defeat the Miami Heat 105-104. Overall, while I'm happy that we got the victory, I'm really disappointed in the way that we played for the most part, especially when we talk about our main players. Now, the stat line is going to show, of course, Joel Embiid had 23 points to go along with 15 boards. You had Maxey that had 19. Then, of course, you had a collective of our role players who really saved the game, okay? And while I'm on that subject, let me talk about Nicholas Batum, who had 20 points tonight, including shooting 60% from three-point land tonight. Nicholas Batum is a guy that I've always liked, okay? Now, I was kind of critical of him earlier in the season, particularly when you were talking about how poorly we were playing for a stretch of time between him and Tobias Harris. However, he came on at the right time, and Nicholas Batum is one of those guys that I always appreciate too, because he is a Swiss Army knife. He can get things done. If you need a shot, he'll shoot it. If you need to play defense, he'll play it. If you need to get to the bucket, he'll do that. If he needs to make the right play at the right time in terms of getting your teammates involved, he'll do that. He pretty much does it all. And can't say enough about him being a lockdown defender because, of course, that was a key block that he had on Tyler Hero, okay, especially at the end of the game. I know going forward that Joel Embiid, he can't continue to have these games where we play when you want to, okay, especially against a team like New York. Joel Embiid did not play particularly well, especially on the offensive end, up until the last 3 minutes of the game, okay? And then that's when he came on. He came on at the right time. And there's a reason why he is a superstar. But throughout the course of the game, you could tell that he's starting to really get his win back. You know, and I'm not going to hold Joel too much because, you know, he is getting back into the groove. We're talking about a guy that's a couple weeks removed from having, you know, a surgery on the MCL that he's had problems with before in the past, and plus he's had injury history before, okay? They had us down, the Miami Heat had us down as many as 14. I do want to give a shout out to the Miami Heat because they did come out to play. It was a combination of Tyler Hero, who hit the right shots at the right time. I think he led all scorers on the Miami Heat with 25. As a matter of fact, I think he led everybody throughout in the whole entire game with 25. Then you had Jimmy Butler, who I think he had 19. And then, of course, Bam Adebayo who had a double-double with 12, 10 and 12, if I'm not mistaken. And those were the only guys that were in double figures, but it was their defense that really kept us at bay, especially in the first half, okay? Because they were running the zone, and let's just be honest, we couldn't really attack that zone and break down the zone like we wanted to. Now, the coaching brilliance of Nick Nurse, in which I'm gonna talk about in just a moment too, as well, about a key thing that I felt that he did in terms of his adjustment. But Nick Nurse actually had threw a zone at them at the same thing, which I felt like it worked pretty good, because especially when you talk about our role players that really were able to step up. You also had Oubre, who came up big too as well. Oubre had 11 points as well, and hit some key shots. And while Cameron Payne only played 3 minutes and only hit one shot, it was a key shot that gave us a spark. Okay, I do want Cameron Payne to get more minutes. You know, that's just my personal opinion. However, with a championship pedigree coach like a Nick Nurse, I'm not gonna question his rotations, because even with everything that we have had going on, we actually could have lost this game to Eric Spoelstra, because Eric Spoelstra really coached his ass off tonight. So hats off to him. But in the end, I thought a key adjustment that Nick Nurse had made was putting Tobias Harris on the bench and finishing off the game like that, and keeping the flow going. Now, I know many fans were on Tobias Harris, telling, Nick Nurse to bench him, and Tobias Harris, what are you doing, stuff like that. But it wasn't just Tobias Harris that was messing up throughout the course of the game. Joel Embiid, he missed some layups. Okay, we missed quite a few layups that were easy buckets that could have actually made the score a little bit higher, and could have actually helped us out throughout the course of the game. I felt that we played defense at the right time, but it needs to be more consistent, because, like I said, with a team like New York, with a team even like a Boston, okay, or some of these other teams, even like an Orlando, who nobody's talking about, even with the Bucks, if provided that they have Giannis, they'll be ready to put you away if they have us up by 14 points, okay? But it was our role players, and you can't say enough about Nicholas Batum leading the charge, doing pretty much everything on the court, from driving to the cup, hitting the three-point, getting key defensive plays down the stretch, and of course that key block that he did have. But we were really on it on our defense. And another thing is that I'm disappointed by is the fact that we're settling for too many jump shots out on the perimeter. There's a point in time where we're going to have to drive to the cup and draw contact, so that we could go ahead and possibly get the extra points. And see, with these other teams, the coaches are going to recognize that. Okay, now I felt like the officials, they were kind of laxed on the whistle. There were a lot of calls in which, they they actually gave us, and also vice versa. They gave them some calls and stuff. But at the same token, I felt like the refs were letting them play. Now there were a few calls that were in question, that some head scratchers, but for the most part, I felt like the refs were letting us play. Now there was a point in time when Jimmy Butler, he was grabbing his knee, because there was a play when Oubre had jumped up in the air, and then that's when Jimmy Butler, he came down kind of awkwardly on his leg, but he stayed in the game. Okay. I really feel like that's going to be something to watch going forward for Miami. But for us, we got to play better, especially at the beginning of the game. Maxey, while I was pleased how he ended the game, I wasn't pleased how he began the game, because in a game like this, you have to make that first punch. You have to set the tone early, especially with a team like Miami. They have a consistent culture they have a never die type of attitude, and it's just, when you talk about heat culture, they're going to give you 110% every single possession, every single game. That's just the Pat Riley way of doing things. But overall, I liked our heart. I liked our fight at the end. Like I said, it was a nail biter, and it made you pull your hair out, wondering what these guys were doing. But overall, they came in at the right time. But with a team like New York, we have to be locked in every single game, and we're going into their territory. Madison Square Garden is not an easy place to play, especially when you're talking about a revitalized New York team with the energy that has been restored by a superstar emerging in Jalen Brunson, who I'm very high on Jalen Brunson, and Jalen Brunson wants all the smoke. Okay. Can we say the same thing for Maxey? Yes, I believe that Maxey wants all the smoke. Joel Embiid, I believe that Joel Embiid wants all the smoke, but in order to look for that smoke and want all that smoke, you have to be willing to be healthy, and you got to be 100% in order for you to play your best game. Because if not, then New York is going to recognize that right off the bat, and they're going to take advantage of that. Okay, this is the type of league where they don't feel sorry for you. Okay, if you're hurt, that's just another win for them, so they could go ahead and they can hoist that Larry O'Brien at the end of the year. But shouts out to the Sixers, but our job is not done. We took care of Miami tonight. Now we got to go into a hostile territory in MSG and try to at least steal home court from them. But y'all let me know what you think. Leave your comments, like the video, share it, subscribe. Also hit the notifications too, so that you're notified. It's Straight Sixers news. I'll get at you later.